Hi everybody, thanks for joining me today. We have Justeni up for review. She's an 86-foot Sunseeker, launched in 2008. Great boat, huge interior volume down in the accommodation spaces, nice big rooms. So let's go and take a look. As I said, 86 feet, launched in 2008. There you can see the side profile view. There's no real mention, I'll say this now, in the brochure of crew accommodation, but we can see, I'll just use the mouse here, down here, that window at the back, that's the crew accommodation there. So they do have crew for two in this. So on to the specifications. This boat is in Europe, so you'll see a lot of the metric sort of dimensions and measurements here, but we have put in the US sort of imperial or standard equivalent. So 86 feet, 21-foot beam. The beam is great for this size boat. Slightly deeper in draft, 6.5 feet. As I mentioned in the roundup, Sunseeker do use a deep V style hull. The benefit of that is it gives you a lot of interior volume. Downside, it does give you slightly deeper draft. So could be an issue here over towards the Bahamas, but in Europe not so much. But still great boat, very nice cruising hull. So launched in 2008, it's a fiberglass hull. Sunseekers are built in the UK, not too far from the Princess yard. Princess, of course, are over here now. When they first came over here, they had joined with Viking to be their sort of dealer over here. There are rumors of Princess actually representing themselves over here now, so dropping that Viking tie. The engines here are Caterpillars. Quite often, Sunseekers will use the MTU engines, the high-powered engines, to get higher sort of top-end speed. But a great speed here, 29 knots. That's plenty fast enough for an 86-foot boat. The fuel and water consumption, 1,900 gallons and 400 gallons, fairly standard. 4 staterooms. All the staterooms here are great sized. They're very large. They don't feel cramped at all, and that's sort of credit to the design of the hull, and with that sort of 21-foot beam also has a lot to do with that there. The asking price on this is in euros. The change into US dollars there, I'm not too sure of the date that was converted, so you'll have to do your own sort of conversion here online. 2,750,000 euros, which at the point of creating this brochure turned out to be just over $3.5 million US dollars. So let's look into the photographs here. The first two there of the forward VIP cabin. Now you can see straight away from that lower photograph there how beamy this cabin actually is. With a lot of the American built boats, it'll feel fairly tight up here. You certainly wouldn't have that room either side of the queen bed that you have on this, and there's also a nice little seating area there. So great size up here. It basically is a second master cabin up here, so really nice size, very nice size head on this as well. So there's a great shot of the room there. You can see from right in the corner. It's nice that they use so many windows. This is a 2008 model. In the 2013 models, it's even more open and airy than this. So they use larger windows, the side hull windows, rather than these sort of almost big portholes here. They're actually full windows, and that's sort of going throughout the industry now as the qualities of glass improve. You can now use it as a structural piece rather than it being a weakness in the hull. It's actually classed as part of the hull now, so that's why you'll see a lot more transparency in the hull. The Ford VIP head down there at the bottom on the left, European, so there's the bidet. Nice size sort of vanities there, double sink, double vanity, and there's another shot of it up at the top on the right hand side, and a nice size walk-in shower there as well. The other cabins that they have here are twins. You can see down there bottom on the right, still a very nice size cabin. I love these huge windows that they have in the side. Some manufacturers with the twin cabins, it's almost sort of an afterthought of how they're going to decorate the twin cabin. It's sort of that forgotten area almost that you put the kids in, but here's very nice open sort of large cabin. The beds aren't small beds, they're a full-size single, and they also actually have a Pullman that folds down from the wall, and I think there's a photograph of that coming up here. Yeah, so the top photograph on the left there, that's the Pullman that you can see there that folds down. It's worth mentioning this boat is in Europe, but they do have the exact same model of boat over here in the US. It's something that's built sort of just in the power and mechanical side of the boat. That's a request from the builder, whether it's going to Europe or whether it's coming over here to the US. So this boat will be 50 cycles and sort of European power, whereas the other ones will be 60 hertz, and all the outlets will be the sort of regular outlets that you would expect to see over here rather than the European 2-pins. So the master cabin we can see here, nice full beam master, 4 huge portholes there. I've been on this model boat. It really does feel nice and open there. I like the fact that they've lined the hatches there so that you have nice easy access down into the bilge area, and it has a very large bathroom as well, and you can see that down at the bottom on the right hand side. Beautiful cabin. It's a king size bed that they have in there, and you can really feel the size of the sort of beam of the boat here in this cabin. The photograph at the top there, I'm not sure how that photograph squeezed by, but that's the twin cabin bathroom there, slightly out of sync. Moving on to the right hand side is the Helm station. Slightly older boat. It's coming on for almost 5 years now, so some of the navigation equipment won't be what you are used to seeing on newer boats, so the screens would be a little smaller. They won't be touch screens as they are now, but they do all exactly the same operations, just don't look perhaps as pretty as the newer ones. Bow and stern thruster here, which is great, very easy for maneuvering, easy for docking. Of course, the only easier sort of system is the IPS drive, so that these guys don't use here, but just as easy as the bow and stern thruster. So here we'll start to see the differences between the European and the US style interior design. As we've seen before, the European style is a lot more formal. It's a bit more about sort of service and not really seeing the crew, whereas over here, of course, we love our crew. We want to spend time sharing the experience with them, and that's why you have the country kitchen. They'll be there cooking for you. You're sat at the breakfast bar, the high top bar, and chatting with them. Here it's a little bit more formal. So The use of space here, if we look on the left-hand side, these two photographs, you have the main salon, then this small sort of dining area here is a little bit different. It's almost like a seating area that they've sort of put the table in, rather than it being a sort of formal dining table. And then in between that, so just forwards of the salon, will be sort of an enclosed galley. So it's not really open, you can't see through it all, it's in its own sort of room. And then forwards of that, you have the pilot house and this small seating area here. So that whole area, US style, you'd expect to see that sort of open and sort of a full shot that you can see through from the aft doors through to the country kitchen, whereas here it's kind of more closed off. But that's how they'd like over there. Again, it's pure personal preference. There's no right or wrong here. So moving upstairs onto the flybridge, nice open flybridge. They have the same style now in their newer boats. They also, here in that top photograph on the right hand side, you can see that there's a retractable section to the roof as well. That's the same nowadays. Some of the boats now will have a hot tub on top, and that's really a US influence in there to have the small sort of hot tub up on the flybridge that Sunseeker have taken over. So they have another repeater helm station up here. It has all of the same equipment that you have in the main pilot house, the same sort of radar and chart plotter. And here you can see that up in the top left-hand side. The bottom shot there, nice. You can see the hydraulic swim platform that they have, the jet ski or PWC, which is, of course, personal watercraft. Means that you can launch and recover this thing without having to worry about having a crane sort of stuck in the middle of the deck. Sunseeker love their LED lights, so you can see it all lit up like that, and of course you can opt to have whatever color lights that your heart desires, or a combination of lights. The bottom on the right hand side, that's the main salon looking forwards. So you can see there on the left-hand side, looking forwards, where you can see that blue painting, that whole wall there, that's what's enclosing the galley. So, as mentioned on European ones, you expect that to be sort of open, but here it's a little bit more formal. But really nice salon area there. Again, you can feel the sort of the width or the beam of the boat. And nice. I mean, there's a lot of seating there for an 86-foot boat, but it doesn't feel cramped at all. So many times you'll have interior designers taking over the interior of the boat, especially on custom built, and they'll put these huge pieces of furniture inside this area, and it just overwhelms the area. It looks far too big, but really nice proportions here. I really like what they've done here, and it feels nice and open. So moving on to the bow, the newer style to this, they'll have a bit more of a separation between the seating area and the breakfast table, and quite often they'll have sort of that breakfast area a bit more forwards, and it's sort of a proper walkthrough. You see that in the newer Pershings, they'll have the sort of seating area to the back and a nice walkthrough and coffee table, and then sort of a bunny pad or a sun pad up forwards, rather than having just one big sun pad. It sort of breaks it up quite nicely up there. So nice area, and of course we saw the other sunbathing areas up on the sun pad earlier on as well. So moving into the write-up, this looking through this write-up, it's straight out of the catalogue. They've basically cut and paste all of this in. There are a couple of things that are options in here, so to get a full sort of description of what's actually in any specific boat, or if you want a list of this same model that's in the US, then click on that Get the Yacht Pack, and we'll send you all that information. We've already got it all ready to go, but I wanted to show you this one because it's particularly nice and open, and you can really feel the beam of the boat. Nice photographs. Of course, sometimes when these brokerage companies put these photographs together, it's just someone walking around with their iPhone taking photographs that really doesn't do the boat any credit, and doesn't really help in getting it sold. But so they've gone about it the right way here, and they've got some nice photographs, which is why I chose this one to run through today. So but back to the write up, it goes through bullet points, everything that's fitted. I'll pick out a couple to pull off. The generators were upgraded on this. The hydraulic platform is an option. The water pumps have doubled up on some of the water pumps here. They've upgraded the sound system. They have the Bose sound system. They had updated, although it's now out of date because this is back in 2008. But at the point that this was launched, they did upgrade the depth sounder and chart plotter and sort of radar and scanner. That package is an updated package, so that's great to have that fitted here. They've got twin anchors as well. That's another great option. Quite often people now will have one Bruce anchor and one Danforth anchor, which are two different styles of anchor that you would use to drop down depending on whether you're in rocky sort of anchorage as far as the seabed, or whether you're in sand on the seabed or grass. Then the two different anchors have their benefits and their strong points, which is why you'll quite often see two different styles of anchor up there. Moving on to the other page, has a CCTV system fitted in. It goes on to detail the bits and pieces in the galley. I see they opted for the champagne flutes here and the Sunseeker glassware. The ovens, the dishwashers, trash compactors, details all that here, and you can read through it all. So a great yacht. Sunseekers hold their value quite well now over here because they are so established in the US now. Previous years they weren't quite as established. They didn't have a dedicated Sunseeker after service department here. They do now. They're a lot more sort of embedded in the US market and US culture now, so they're really holding their value. So a great option. Click on that Yacht Pack button. I'll send you all the details. We have this full brochure that I went through today, all the photographs, all the write-ups. I also put in there comps so that you can see what boats have sold over the last 12 months that are similar to this one, so you can get an idea of what the true market value is. And I'll also give you a list of similar boats that are currently for sale, and that'll also help you place it and be able to tell what you should be paying for this boat. So I have all that ready to go. Just click on that button, leave the name of the boat and your name and your email address, and I'll send it off to you right away. So thanks for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you next week, or take a look at some of the other reviews that were done this week. So thanks, have a great day.